just wanted to give you a bit of a setup guide, you know, for when you've unpacked your car and it's new and the first things you really want to do. Obviously go through, read your manual and familiarise yourself with that, because that's got all the key points in, but this is just kind of a get started, if you like. First thing I'd always do is get your main car battery on charge. It's going to take sort of between 2 and 3 hours with a wall charger. You don't want to overcharge these batteries, but if you can get that on charge while you're reading the manual, then it'll be ready. Do uncoil your wire when you've got it charging. They do suggest plug that in. This is hand disconnector, and you'll see the little catch goes on that side, and they'll click. There's a positive click when they go together. Then get that plugged into the wall outlet. As I say, just at a time of sort of 2 to 3 hours, that should charge the pack up. Okay, back to the transmitter. On the bottom, you just want to push that cover and it'll lift off. Just check the polarity, very important. So easy to get these in the wrong way around, and then you'll find that it won't work. Just as a tip, the negative is the end of the battery that's not got a dimple on, and they go where the springs are, and they alternate. So one goes up one way, one goes up the other, until you've got all 8 in. Cover just drops part way back on and then clips home. Switch is on the reverse, just push the switch up and check that both lights come on. If both lights don't come on, the likelihood is that you've just got one of the batteries in the wrong way round. Okay, turn that off. Go to the car, sort of small body pins. If you just push them from the inside, they'll just pop off. And the body should then just lift away. Okay, first thing to do is just unwrap the aerial wire. You'll find that it's just threaded in on itself, and it should come out. And just try and straighten it out as best you can. We need to just thread this through the antenna tube. So just pop that in the bottom. And then just keep pushing through and just watch the end. And you should see the antenna just poke through, and when it does you can then pull it from that end, which is much easier. If it does get stuck, just twist the antenna tube and you'll find that that'll just help it work its way through. Now it's like the other end. Just pull it and you'll find there's a little notch in the mounting for this where the wire needs to go through, and then just push the arrow through. Don't be tempted to cut that end off. It's meant to be like that, and that'll get you the best reception. On this side of the car you'll see this is where the battery is going to mount, and again they're held with a couple of body pins. Just pull those out. I'll just show you mounting the battery. Obviously yours will be on charge. Let's just give you a bit of a guide. I should then lift free, leave it orientated like that, and the battery will drop in to where these little recesses are. What you'll find is that actually it'll fit in 2 places. You can fit it right to the front or right to the rear, so you can actually adjust some of the weight distribution for the car, which is great. So you'll need to obviously play with that. I'm going to set mine a bit more to the front. And just drop that back on. Your body pins through the posts. And then those will just connect to your receiver and ESC, and just push those together. When you start the car up for the first time, this is a good idea just to raise it off the ground. You probably remember when we unpacked, there was some plastic parts that held them onto the packaging. If you just sit it on there, then at least if your settings on the transmitter are wildly out, the car's not going to run off the side. Okay, with the transmitter, I would just make sure that all of these have been set into the neutral position, and the sensitivity I would just put down to the minimum. Turn your transmitter on. Always turn your transmitter on and raise the aerial before you do the car. And then you'll see on the receiver and speed controller there's a little switch. Just flick that to the on position. You'll note when you turn the speed controller on, the steering servo will just move, if you watch. And also there should be a green light inside where that controller is. Now we need to just make sure that our trims for both steering and throttle are fairly close. The steering one you'll be able to set it better by driving in a straight line down your street and then just tweaking it left or right if it needs to. You'll see that they're a toe out, but you can do it by eye at this point that these two distances are about the same, and just correct that. If the wheels have started to turn, you may find that your throttle trim is actually slightly out, as you can see. But you want that in the neutral position so that the wheels aren't travelling in either direction. Steering, we then set this to the minimum. You'll see on the top there's a dial, and if you turn it anti-clockwise the steering will be minimised, and that's a good way when you're learning because steering feels very sensitive, and you can see that if we then turn that up the steering moves much greater. So it's a good idea, just leave it on that lower setting, you know, for getting used to the car. Set up a little course. You need to do a figure of 8 in the street, and that'll just get you used to steering the car away from you and towards you, because you'll be amazed when it comes towards you it's not intuitive which way to turn the wheel on the transmitter. So now we just need to put the body on, thread the antenna, pull that through, slide in the aerial tube, pick up the mountings front and rear, and then with your body pins just push those through. Keep the body on. And obviously then there are 2 that go in that side. And then your car is ready, up and running, ready to use. Point just to note, obviously when you finished using the car, it's critical that you do the turn off sequence in the reverse to turn on. So remove your body, turn off the speed controller, and then turn off your transmitter. And then obviously unplug the battery if you're going to be storing the car. Okay, have fun with your car. If you need any help or tips, please do get in touch, and obviously comment, rate and subscribe if you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.